Hello, Habit Mechanics. Dr. John Finn here. I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, I am excited to announce that we're going to today start our first audio 4-day challenge. So, we've been playing about with different challenges over the years, and I feel that people are so busy and things are, just so hectic that actually getting people together at the same in the same place at the same time, even if it's on a Zoom call, is just harder than ever. So my mission is to make it as easy as possible for people to be healthy, happy, and at their best more often and thrive in the AI era. So I want to make it as easy as possible for you to benefit from the insights we've developed in Train Your Brain for the AI Revolution and the habit mechanic approach. And I want to make it as easy as possible for people to use human AI performance psychology to help themselves in their own life, but also to use that science to help others to thrive. So what we're going to do across these 4-day challenges, we're going to work through the AI Edge success cycle, which is at the heart of Train Your Brain for the AI revolution. And today we're going to go and measure our brain states. Now, why is that important? We are rapidly and further along than anybody was predicting in terms of how AI is disrupting traditional ways of working. Just like the Industrial Revolution automated physical labor, neural network AI technology is automating cognitive labor. So for the first time ever, many of the tasks that only humans have been able to do are now automatable by machines or by neural network AI. And I think it's best to think of this technology as more like a species because it's evolving so quickly. And actually, because it's human-like in what it can do, it is more like a species. So for the first time ever, things that up until now only humans have been able to do, we can outsource them to a technology or a species, if we're going to use that language. And we're seeing, lots of sectors being disrupted. The graduate market, for example, is undoubtedly taken a massive hit from businesses now using AI instead of hiring graduates because the AI can do what the graduates used to do faster and cheaper. We're seeing more and more businesses roll out their own bespoke, both agentic AI tools, so tools that can do the kind of tasks that humans do with their medium charge brain states. Agentic AI can do that stuff faster and cheaper than humans. And also they're rolling out their own LLMs, large language models, generative AI tools. So these things, when businesses are rolling them out, often have, a big wall around them so nothing can get out. None of their data can leak. But essentially it's like ChatGTP or Claude designed for a business. But my point is that these things are real and they are not the millennium bug. They're not going away. They're just going to become more and more powerful and used more often. So we have to get our head around this. We have to start using them. But the key thing to understand is actually what's happening right now is that we are making this transition from working in teams of humans or working in human teams. We're starting to make a transition to work with AI. So we're making a transition to human AI teams. And you can form a human AI team just by yourself, just by working with some AI. And if you get it right, that's going to help you to go faster and further than you ever thought possible. Many people are using AI and it's slowing them down. So there's data showing that 77% of employees said AI is slowing me down. That's not an AI problem. That's a human problem because people are overwhelmed. We want to learn how to use this technology so we can get the things that we want to get done in our life faster, and also, or including building new super habits. So what we're learning is that AI technologies are not just for helping us to get projects at work done faster, get admin jobs done faster. They free up brain capacity so that we can actually work on ourselves to build a better sleep habit, to build a better diet habit, to build a better stress management habit, to build a better leadership habit or a parent habit. Whatever it is, whatever new super habits we want to build, the main barrier is not enough brain power, because we go, yeah, that's what I want to do. I need to sleep better. Yeah, I need to be a better leader. Yeah, I need to be a better communicator. Yeah, I need to manage stress better. Yeah, I need to stop multitasking and start single tasking. But then we don't, because we just slip back into the same old behaviors because we have limited willpower. So although willpower doesn't explain everything about our ability to change our behavior, to build new habits, it is the conduit, it is the gatekeeper. So now that we can actually outsource lots of the things that we would have traditionally had to have used our brain to do every day to the neural network AI species, then that frees up our own brain power so we can invest it into the things that we want, that are most important for us, that are the things that we want to work on and get better at. So this is what I want to help us all to do in these 4-day challenges. And if we get this right, we are going to become unstoppable in the AI era. And we can also help others to become unstoppable. And you know, I keep saying this, but the gold standard here, like anything, that same old mantra, you don't really know it until you can teach it to somebody else. And that's why I'm saying the goal here really is, if you want to get good at this stuff, you need to become your own expert habit coach. And that's why we're so driven to help more and more people become certified habit mechanic coaches, because that is the gold standard. It's not about setting up your own coaching business necessarily, although you can do that as well. It's about actually understanding how to coach yourself. But what we want to be able to do, if we're going to thrive and become unstoppable in the AI era and not just survive and not get left behind, is 2 core things. We want to learn how to use the technology really well, or the species really well, co-work with it, not just use it as a lazy tool to shortcut things, but to really get the most out of it. And then what we need to be able to do is do the kind of thinking that the AI can't. And there's loads of things that the AI can't do right now, and I don't see it being able to do anytime in the near future, that a high-functioning human being can do. Both those things, getting really good at using the AI, but also getting good at thinking in ways and doing things that the AI can't do. And I mean cognitive things. Of course, the AI is not going to do your washing up for you, right? I mean things at work, thinking, high impact thinking, problem solving. Both those things require high charge brain states. And that's why in Train Your Brain for the AI Revolution, the success cycle, the AI Age success cycle, the first thing that we do, and we're going to do today, is measure our brain states. Because by understanding where our brain states are right now, it gives us a baseline measurement to the starting point and where we need to prioritize improving. Do we need more recharge? Do we need to do less medium charge? Do we need to do more high charge? Probably all of the above, right? But that's where we're going to start. And it's a we're doing these challenges for free. So it's a prerequisite that if you want to get the most out of it, of course you can just listen along if you want. But if you want to get the most out of them, we just ask that you have a copy of Train Your Brain for the AI Revolution, which you can get for $1 from our website, and there'll be a link below this podcast. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, because this is going to be a YouTube video as well, then there'll be a link below the video. But I'm sure you've probably already got a copy of Train Your Brain for the AI Revolution. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen using the power of technology. And I'm going to go into Train Your Brain for the AI Revolution. And we're going to go to the brain state assessment, which is in. So probably worth actually just taking one step back. So this 4-day challenge, is going to center around 4 core steps. So first of all, we're going to measure our brain states. Then tomorrow, we're going to work with what we call the task director and plan create our own strategic plan. So using what we call the future ambitious meaningful story. And then we're going to focus that down for the next 30 days. Then we're going to use the day designer to help us to create a willpower story on day 3. So we can actually give ourselves the best chance of getting done what we want to prioritize doing, including good sleep, good stress management, and all those tasks that you need to complete. And then on day 4, we're going to work with the routine engineer to help us to get the behavioral science, the 9 action factors working for us by creating a habit building plan. So that's what we're going to do. So today, we're going to go into the brain state assessment. So you may, as you're listening to this, you may be working as a certified habit mechanic coach already. You may be doing the AI proof professional training. You may be in our AI accelerator community. So you'll have, depending on where you're at, you'll have different tools to do this, but I'm just going from the book. So we're going to go into chapter 8, if you've got the book in front of you. And if you just turn to page 40, you will see the human AI Readiness Brain State Assessment. And here are 15 statements that you give yourself a score out of 10 for each statement, and you get a total score. So let me just read the first one. I'm not going to go through this every single statement because you can do that yourself, but let me just get the first one read out. So I find myself responding to urgent issues instead of having a plan or sticking to my plan. So if I never find myself responding to urgent issues instead of having a plan or sticking to my plan, I'll give myself a 1. If I always find myself responding to urgent issues instead of having a plan or sticking to my plan, I'll give myself a 10. So hopefully you're seeing here, low scores are good. High scores mean are bad. We just want to use that very simple language. Low scores means you're doing lots of helpful things every day. High scores mean you're doing lots of unhelpful things every day. So you're probably somewhere in between. You're probably not a 1 or a 10. You're probably somewhere in between. So if you go through each of the statements, and if you watch the YouTube video, if you're thinking, I don't have the book, you can kind of see them on the screen. And you go through all the statements, and I'll just go into a couple of these things here, like statement 5, my mind feels foggy and it slows down my work. That's because you're not looking after your brain properly. You might say, no, it's because I've got ADHD. That may be the case, but it means you're not looking after your brain properly. We've got to go back to the neurobiological first principles. If my brain feels foggy, it's not working very well. So we've got to do things that help it to work better. And that's what we're going to do as we go on this journey together. I find myself scrolling on social media when I know it's not a good use of my time. I waste time because I'm not thinking clearly. When we get into 14, my diet choices leave me feeling sluggish. How many people feel sluggish after lunch? Lack of regular exercise reduces my mental energy. So these statements are not just made up randomly. They're literally developed over 25 years of working with over 20,000 people. These are the things we know that people who are functioning really well are getting right, and those who are not functioning very well are not getting right. So they're very deliberate. So you can walk through that, give yourself a score. You can pause the video if you want, or pause the podcast if you want. And then chapter 9, you get your score. So if you get a score between 91 and 150, you have a cross the bear profile. That means that you're spending an unhelpful amount of time in medium charge brain states. This is the kind of work that especially agentic AI is excellent at. So you're highly replaceable if you're spending too much time in medium charge brain states. It's also a recipe for poor health, happiness, well-being, performance. So it's okay if you're in a cross the bear profile right now, but we don't want to stay there. We want to do some things differently to help us to get out of it. And I'll show you what to do over the course of this 4-day challenge. If you get a score between 61 and 90, you have a jagged dual profile. So you're doing some things well, but there's other things you can improve. And then if you have a score between 15, imagine that if you got 1 on a whole of those statements. I've never done that. But you may have. Between 15 and 60, then you've got the Arrowhead profile. This means you're doing really well, but there's also room for improvement. And that's it. So we just want to understand where our score is. Doesn't matter where it is, we can do better. Ultimately, your score is driven by your habits. And we can get rid of or destroy our destructive habits and build new super habits. And we can actually use AI to help us to do that, as counterintuitive as it sounds. Hence, human eye performance psychology. AI is a supercharger for behavior change. So that's all I wanted to share in the first day of this challenge. I'm really excited about this. I hope that you are as well. If it's helpful, share it with someone else. And please note that if you're thinking, the idea of becoming a coach sounds good, but I don't think I'm cut out for that. This is what you're doing now. You're coaching yourself. You're starting to coach yourself using exactly the same system that you will use to coach others. And if you are coaching people, if you're already a certified habit mechanic coach or you're training, feel free to model this 4-day challenge with your clients or the pilot people you're working with. I don't mean airline pilots. I mean people you're testing your skills out on. So this is why I'm doing this, because I want to spread good practice. I say here, I'm going to go zoom right to the top of this book, because this is the mission I'm on. And I think if you're listening to this, you're on this mission with me as well. And it's very simple. I created this book and the human eye performance psychology approach and the habit mechanic approach because I believe that mastering our brain states will become humanity's most vital skill for health, happiness, and success in the AI era. And I say then in the book and in our programs, etc., I'll guide you to mastering your own brain states and show you how to help others do the same. This book is dedicated to the pioneers who will help humanity master its brain states and create an extraordinary future in the AI era. Thank you for being a pioneer and joining me on this mission. Might sound highfalutin, but it's real. This is absolutely real. So well done if you're listening and you're doing this and you're working on yourself, and just tell someone else about it, because that's going to help them as well. And already there's a huge market opening up for people who know how to help others manage their brain states. This is step one. So make sure you've got your score, make sure you know what profile you are, and then we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for listening. And remember, we're only ever one brain state habit away.